These are my top albums of 2023. Make sure you watch to the end to find out my number one. I'll be honest, I was gonna do a top 10, but there really wasn't 10 albums that I had on repeat this year. There were some mixtapes I had on repeat that I thought were good enough to be albums, but if the artists don't wanna call it an album, I'm not gonna feature it in the video. So this is my top 8. At number 8, we had Crop Circle 3 by Nines. Now this album was not anticipated at all, which was good because it allowed Nines to do exactly what he wanted, and that is what he did with this album. I think that's why people wrote this one off quite early, but there are some bangers in here. It's not as good as his other Crop Circles, and it's maybe not as strong a listen from front to back, but there are some really strong songs in here that I love. And I respect that Nines took some risks on this as well, whilst obviously just having fun with it. At number 7, we had Cass is Dead, Famous Last Words. Now it's true, every album should have a sound, but this one was so clear and quite iconic. I wouldn't really know how to describe it. It's kind of synthy, it's very Cass is Dead. He's an artist that I've kind of listened to here and there over the years, but when I sat down and listened to this album front to back, I had a really good time. He's got a sound like no other, and this was a strong body of work. At number 6, we had Digga D, Back to Square One. Digga is a superstar. There is so much noise and media attention on him. I personally thought Naughty by Nature should have been an album, and I was annoyed that it was called a mixtape. However, this was his debut album, and the levels were clear. Massive respect to Digga on this. He was so vulnerable on this album, he just spoke his truth, and I think we needed to hear it. For someone that we see so much online, to hear his hard truths on this album and what he's going through in his own journey, it was important and eye-opening. At number 5, Area Boys by NSG. Can we appreciate how difficult it must be to make an album with 6 members? You've got to create 15 songs with coherence, everyone's got to have a verse that aligns to the song, plus you get features involved. I think it's a much harder task for so many people, so just respect them for making an album and it works so well. What do you want from NSG? You want vibes, you want beats, you want good time. And an album should bring you what you want plus a bit more. This album brought you that, and if you wanted to buy into it a bit more, you listen to it front to back, it takes you on a journey, and there's some much deeper lyrics and songs involved. I think every single feature that they got on the album, on the right songs at the right time in the album, it worked beautifully. It was kind of a long album to take in, and because it's so vibrant, it's harder to take in, but everything about this album was so strong. Ratings to NSG for that. At number 4, Beautiful and Brutal Yard by J Hus. Let's not get it twisted. This was a quality album. Because of the anticipation, because of the wait, and because of the quality of the last 2 albums, people were quick to shoot this down. I agree, it's not his best album, but this album is still quality. What do people want from J Hus? You might like him on drill, you might like him on a Burna Boy song, you might like him on the Afro swing kind of style, you might like the real rap. He delivered all of that on this album. J Hus is the UK's most versatile artist, and that's what he showed. So yeah, the album front to back might not be for everyone, but he's catered to what everyone wants from him. I promise you, if you revisit it now, you will uncover some more gems, some more favorite songs. I do always struggle with albums that are so heavily anticipated though. Your third album is hard to meet the hype, but take all that away and appreciate the album for what it is, because it is a quality album. Number 3, Avelino, God Save the Streets. I'm telling you, this is a criminally underrated album. The sound, the features, the message, the stories. I feel like we should have done Avelino better with this one, because when you listen to the album front to back, there really is not much room for improvement. I encourage everyone to take this one in because it's got some of my favorite songs this year on it. At number 2, Pot of Paper, Real Back in Style. Now I'ma just say this straight right now. This was the best album to come out of this year. From front to back, no features, storytelling, intensity, passion, heart. This was quality. Pot of Paper's an established artist, so he had to deliver on his debut album, and he did that. So if it's the best album, why is it not number 1? But it's because of those reasons. Songs like Toy Story 2 and Kayla's Story, they're like so intense and moving, and you just won't listen to those songs unless you're listening to the whole album. I don't know, maybe it was my mood or lifestyle. It wasn't an everyday listen to Pot of Paper's album front to back, and so for that reason it wasn't my favorite album, because I just didn't listen to it loads. But I'll tell you now, it's the best album to come out this year. Number 1 for me, Crop Circle 2 by Nines. This might surprise some people, a lot of people might disagree with this, but this is my personal favorite. Yes, it wasn't better than Crop Circle 1 or Crabs in a Bucket. However, it's still a quality album. Like, forget that, just take the album for what it is. Front to back, it flows nicely, it's a clear story, and if you look at it song for song, there's some bangers. Like, it's a quality album. The Wretch and Scraps one, Jay Styles, You Know Where I'll Be, I'm in the Favelas, Pot of Paper, What's Beef, Beef will have you living like Sully by the streets, Lilo Gold, Look What the Weed Man Done, yeah, Tony Soprano 2, Hear Me Out, Outro. When you look at these songs, I don't know how you can fault this album, really. I think this was really thought through and executed really well. Really nice rollout, and because of all those songs mentioned that were on repeat throughout the year, this was my favorite album of the year. What was your favorite album this year? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon.